postulate second of quantum mechanics states that to every observable in classical mechanics, there corresponds a linear operator in quantum mechanics. It means that in classical mechanics, we have so many properties like total energy and kinetic energy. For the same property in quantum mechanics, we have an operator like total energy operator, kinetic energy operator. If you observe, the postulate second introduce the concept of operator in quantum mechanics. So let's discuss in detail the concept of operator in this video. I am Sudhir Kumbar, Assistant Professor of Physical Chemistry. I am giving to you in a depth of physical chemistry. Let's begin with operator and operand. Start with the definition of operator. The instruction in the form of symbol which transform one function into another function is called operator. It means that the operator is a simple symbol. In this symbol, the instruction is stored, and if you observe the symbol, immediately in our mind click that some operation is to be carried out. So operator, that means it is a symbol that is specially made for an operation. So the operator stored the instruction of operation. Okay, so let's see the operand. The function on which operation is to be carried out is called operand. It is a simple function on which we can perform the operation. So this simple function is called as a operand. So operator is a symbol and operand is a function. Let's understand by taking one mathematical expression, d by dx of x raised to n, which is equal to n into x raised to n minus 1. In this mathematical expression, d by dx is a simple symbol. In this symbol, the instruction is stored. Which instruction is stored? The first derivative. So first derivative is the instruction that's stored into d by dx symbol. The second is the x raised to n. Here x raised to n is the function. Okay, so d by dx is a symbol that operated on x raised to n function. This is the mathematical language, but in quantum mechanical language, d by dx is a symbol called as a operator and x raised to n is a function called as a operand. So this operator d by dx that operate on a operand x raised to n that generate a new function n into x raised to n minus 1. If the operator is operate on a operand, then the new function is formed. So this is the use of this operator and operand. The operator in this example is the first derivative operator, and this first derivative operator is denoted by the symbol d upon dx. In this example, x raised to n is a function, and in quantum mechanical way we called it as a operand. If you observe this example, then immediately click that we have to take the first derivative of the function x raised to n. So d by dx is an operator and x raised to n is a operand. And if you perform this operation, that means first derivative operation on the operand x raised to n, then this d by dx symbol operator that change x raised to n function or operand into the new function n into x raised to n minus 1. Therefore, d by dx is a operator in this example. This function is called as a operand. So the operator is denoted by an symbol a over a. So in this, a is any property and this sign over a is called as a operator, a over a or a cap. Now we are going to observe some examples of property and we will discuss what is its operator in quantum mechanics. Let's see first property, position. If you take one example of position, in classical mechanics this position property is represented by small r, but in quantum mechanics it can be represented by capital R overhead, and this R overhead or cap is called as a position operator in quantum mechanics. So in classical mechanics the position is represented by R, but in quantum mechanics this position property is represented by R overhead or R cap. It is called as a position operator. How we can calculate the position operator? Just you have to multiply by r. If you do it this simple multiplication by r, then we can say that it is an position operator. The second property, momentum. So momentum is the second property. In classical mechanics, the momentum is represented by letter capital P, but in quantum mechanics, just you have to write the overhead or cap on the P. This P cap or P overhead is called as a momentum operator. So in quantum mechanics, this is the momentum operator, and in classical mechanics, this is only the momentum. Expression of the momentum operator is minus I h cross into I d upon dx plus j d upon dy plus k d upon dz. Let's see the third property, kinetic energy. In classical mechanics, this kinetic energy is represented by capital K. But in quantum mechanics, the kinetic energy is now called as a kinetic energy operator, and it is represented by K cap. This is the kinetic energy operator, symbol of kinetic energy operator. Their corresponding equation is minus h cross upon 2m into d psi square upon dx square plus d psi square upon dy square plus d psi square upon dz square. Next property is potential energy. In classical mechanics, it can be represented by capital V x y z. So this potential energy is along the x axis, along the y axis, and along the z axis. Just we have to write overhead on it, then we can say that it is potential energy operator. So V cap is the potential energy operator and V is only the potential energy. So V is the symbol used in the classical mechanics and V cap is the operator, and this symbol is used in the quantum mechanics. So in case of quantum mechanics, it is potential energy operator, and in case of classical mechanics, it is only potential energy. How we can calculate potential energy? Just we have to multiply by V x y z, then we will get the potential energy operator. Now we can see the next property, that is the total energy. In classical mechanics, total energy is represented by capital E, and in quantum mechanics it can be represented by H cap, that means total energy operator. It is also called as a Hamiltonian operator. It is represented by an equation minus h cross upon 2m into dabba psi square upon dabba x square plus dabba psi square upon dabba y square plus dabba psi square upon dabba z square plus vxy z. So the total energy in classical mechanics is represented by E, but in quantum mechanics it can be a total energy operator H cap or Hamiltonian operator H cap, and this is the equation which we are using to calculate the total energy of any microscopic particle in quantum mechanics. The next property is angular momentum. The angular momentum is represented by a symbol in classical mechanics Lx, Ly and Lz. These are the three symbols which we are using in classical mechanics. Lx is the angular momentum along the x-axis, angular momentum along the y-axis, and Lz is the angular momentum along the z-axis. So in quantum mechanics, these symbols are not used. In quantum mechanics, just you add cap on it, and then we can say that it is Lx cap, Ly cap, Lz cap. So these three are the angular momentum operator. So this is the symbol of angular momentum in classical mechanics, and these are the operators of angular momentum in quantum mechanics. Likewise here, this total energy has some equation. Similar way, this Lx cap, Ly cap or Lz cap, these operators are having the equation. One equation for Lx operator is equal to minus I h cross into y d by dz minus z d upon dy. So this is the equation which we are used to calculate the Lx operator. Similarly, we also have the equation for Ly operator, also have the equation for Lz operator. Let's discuss algebra of operator. Algebra you heard in mathematics. In mathematics, the addition algebra is there, the subtraction algebra is there, multiplication algebra also there. Likewise, in quantum mechanics, the algebra are present in between the two operators. Let's see first addition and subtraction operator. In this addition and subtraction operator, A cap is A operator and B cap is the second B operator. A cap plus B cap that operated on a single function fx. So this is the addition of these two operators that combinedly operate on fx. How we can solve this? Which is equal to, for that purpose, the A operator that operated on fx function first, then plus B operator operated on fx function. This is the addition operator. If you want to add two operator A and B and combinedly operated on a single function, then how you can solve this? First operator, A operator that operated on fx plus the second operator operated on fx. The subtraction operator is A operator minus B operator that combinedly operate on a single fx function. Then how we can write this? First, A operator operated on fx minus B operator operated on fx. This is the subtraction operator. In this two addition and subtraction operator, A and B, these are the any physical quantities, and A cap and B cap is corresponding operator in quantum mechanics. The second type of operator algebra is multiplication of operator. Here A operator multiplied by B operator combinedly operate on a single fx function. Then how we can solve? First, in first step, B operator operated on fx function, it gives new f dash function. This is the first step. In second step, A operator operated on the new function f dash, which is the result of the first step. So A operator operated on f dash, it gives another new function f double dash. This is the final result of multiplication of A and B operator and operated on fx. If you combine this, A operator multiplied by B operator operated on fx, that result into f double dash. In first step, the second operator B operator that operate on a fx function, it result into a f dash new function. In next step, A operator that operated on the new function that formed in a step first f dash, and it result in a final new function f double dash. So answer of this multiplication operator is f double dash. In mathematics, we know that A multiplied by B, which is equal to B multiplied by A. But here this case is not happen. That means if A operator multiplied by B operator that operated on fx, which is not equal to B operator multiplied by A operator that combinedly operate on fx function. Next, third, linear operator algebra. Suppose we have one operator and two functions, then A operator that operate on a fx plus gx. These are the two different functions. Then how we can solve this? In first, A operator that operated on this first function fx. A operator that operated on a first function fx plus the same A operator that operated on a second gx function plus A operator that operated on a second gx function. If the A operator that satisfies this condition, then this A operator is called as a linear operator. Again, instead of one function, we have constant. Then A operator that operated on a multiplication of c into fx, then c as a constant. So we can write first, then the A operator that operated on this fx. A operator operated on fx. If this A operator satisfy this condition, then we can say that a operator is a linear operator. Next algebra is Laplacian operator or del square operator. This is represented symbolically del square. Del square operator or Laplacian operator is used in the equation of total energy operator or Hamiltonian operator and Schrodinger wave equation. Also in many equations. So del square operator is equal to dabba psi square upon dabba x square plus dabba psi square upon dabba y square plus dabba psi square upon dabba z square. Here x, y, z, these are the position coordinate. Psi is a wave function. Along with this algebra, we have so many algebras like Hermitian operator algebra, vector operators algebra, and so on. I hope you understand the concept of operator and operand with algebra of operator.